Why do we fear emptiness? Not just the silence in a room or the pause after a question, but the deeper kind of emptiness. The kind that creeps in during quiet moments, when life feels like it's happening to us instead of being shaped by us. You wake up, you work, you scroll, you sleep, and somewhere in between, you start to wonder, what's the point of all this? That question, raw and uncomfortable, has haunted humanity for centuries. We don't just want to live, we want our lives to mean something. But what if the universe doesn't come with built-in meaning? What if the meaning we're chasing isn't something we find, but something we're meant to create? From the moment humans could speak, we've been asking big questions. Why are we here? What is our purpose? Is there something more? Ancient cultures answered with myths. Gods, heavens, underworlds. Medieval thinkers turned to religion. The Enlightenment turned to reason. And today, we toggle between science, self-help, and Spotify playlists, trying to fill the same gap. The hunger for meaning is universal. It drives us to build families, nations, empires. It drives people to become monks or billionaires. But French-Algerian philosopher Albert Camus saw something odd beneath this universal craving. He called it the absurd, a collision between two realities. Our deep human need for life to mean something. A universe that seems silent, indifferent, and maybe even meaningless. We ask, why are we here? The universe says, nothing. That silence isn't just unsettling, it's existentially terrifying. Imagine this. You're dropped into a vast desert. No map, no signs, just sand stretching in every direction. That's how Camus imagined the human condition. We're born into a reality that offers no guaranteed meaning, no instruction manual, just existence. And we can respond in a few different ways. Some pretend there's a path. They accept dogma or ideology without question. Others despair. They see the emptiness and fall into nihilism. But Camus offered a third path. He said, what if we accept the absurd, without illusion and without despair? What if the void isn't a curse, but an opportunity? To explore this idea, Camus turned to an ancient Greek myth. Sisyphus was a man condemned by the gods to roll a boulder up a hill for eternity. Every time he reached the top, the rock would roll back down. Endless effort, no reward. At first glance, it's a picture of hopelessness. But Camus saw it differently. He wrote, the struggle itself toward the heights is enough to fill a man's heart. We must imagine Sisyphus happy. Why? Because even in a meaningless task, Sisyphus has one thing, agency. He keeps pushing. Not because the gods tell him to, not because it leads somewhere, but because he chooses to. That's the power of a rebellion against the absurd. When we stop expecting the universe to give us meaning, we become free to create it ourselves. But this freedom, it's terrifying. Because if meaning isn't given to us, if there's no cosmic script, then we're responsible. You have to decide what matters, not your parents, not society, not religion. You. That much freedom can feel like drowning. That's why many people run from it. They cling to ideologies that promise certainty. They bury themselves in careers, distractions, consumption, anything to avoid the void. The philosopher Jean-Paul Sartre warned about this. He called it bad faith, when we lie to ourselves to avoid the weight of our freedom. You pretend you have to work a soul-killing job, or that your political beliefs are the only right ones, or that life will start someday, when the next milestone is reached. But deep down, we know. We're not bound by these roles. We're just scared to be authors of our own lives. So, What does it mean to create meaning? It doesn't require grand gestures. Sometimes it's as small as choosing honesty over convenience, as intimate as showing up for someone in pain, as bold as pursuing a path that no one else understands. The philosopher Viktor Frankl, who survived Nazi concentration camps, said, "Life is never made unbearable by circumstances, but only by lack of meaning and purpose." Even in unimaginable suffering, he found that people who chose meaning, whether through love, art, or simple dignity, could endure almost anything. Meaning is not a luxury, it's how we survive. And it's not something hidden in the stars, it's something we build, moment by moment, with our actions. But beware, not all meaning is created equally. When we're afraid of freedom, we accept borrowed meaning, stories handed to us by culture, advertising, or authority. Success means money. Love looks like this. Be this kind of person, or you're not enough. These aren't truths, they're templates, and they're dangerous because they numb our curiosity. When meaning becomes a script, we stop asking questions. We outsource our values, and we forget that meaning isn't found in answers, but in the search itself. So where does this leave us? The universe may be silent, but you are not. You are a question-asking, story-shaping, meaning-making being, alive in a world that offers no script. That's not a tragedy. That's a kind of wild, terrifying, beautiful freedom. You don't have to find meaning. You get to create it. In how you treat people, in what you choose to notice, in the quiet decision to keep going, even when nothing makes sense. So maybe the meaning of life isn't out there, waiting to be found. Maybe it's in the way you live it, fully, freely, and awake. Next time you feel the void, don't turn away. Sit with it, breathe into it, and then create something. Not to escape the emptiness, but to answer it. Because in that act, in choosing what matters, you become something more than a seeker. You become a creator.